All right, what's going on, squad? So today we have the Pinterest testing video. This is one that a lot of you guys have been looking forward to. It's kind of cool to see how our Discord community has kind of carved this path all of a sudden ever since the case study store came out of using alternate methods like Snapchat and using Pinterest. So it's cool to see that you guys are getting interested in these platforms. One thing I want to point out real quick, this is being shot in a different setup. So all of my other videos have been shot on my MacBook. However, I now am using my desktop. I have a webcam and I have this mic right here. So hopefully the audio is pretty good. Hope you guys can appreciate that I'm trying to improve the quality of the videos. Now I did notice that the webcam's a little laggy. It's not as good as I thought it was gonna be. So I'm probably gonna have to get another one. So bear with me if it's not the best quality on the webcam, but the mic should be really good. So let's get into it. Pinterest testing, we're gonna start with referencing a thread I wrote, and then we'll get into all the specifics and all that good stuff. So let's do it. All right, so a beginner's guide to Pinterest ads, drop shipping's best kept secret. Obviously very clickbaity, but you know, gotta get people to click on it. All right, part one, why Pinterest ads? Super untapped, very cheap, high quality traffic, demographic specific, so you know exactly what to test, huge organic reach potential, great support for the ad reps, and a growing ads platform. Okay, so this was written in November of last year. It's coming up on a year since this was written. I still believe that this is a very, huge growing ads platform. If you guys look at a chart, you just go on Google and you can look up Pinterest growth. It's crazy. There's many people that use it, and it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger over time. So what to do? Pinterest audience is primarily women from the ages 25 to 60. This should not be any news to you guys, which means you now have clear parameters of which products to test. If you don't already have a Pinterest account, make one and browse around to familiarize yourself with the platform. Now, one thing I have a Google Doc here to reference. I put this in there. We'll go over and we'll reference the doc. Make sure if you're making an account for Pinterest to become familiar with the platform, make sure that you make an account as a woman, right? Just say you're a woman. Don't say you're a man, because remember, you want to really get familiar with the platform of who you're selling to, right? So if you sign up an account and if you're a dude, if you say you're a dude, it's going to push you like Pinterest men. Not Pinterest men, but like men's side of Pinterest. That's not what you want. You want to be pushed the women's side of Pinterest. So sign up as a woman. It's a big thing. All right, in my experience, home decor sells like crazy on Pinterest because that's where every woman goes to get their decoration inspiration. True. An easy number two seller would be clothing right now in the winter months. So sell things that align with the season. This can go with anything. But yeah. The other big banger is baby products. Since the platform is primarily women, market towards their motherly instincts. This can go for mothers, grandmothers, aunts, you name it, you can sell it. Okay. There are lots of other things that also sell well, but it's up to you to do your market research. I recommend staying with those. However, there are plenty of other things that sell good as well. All right, so what not to do? Don't sell men's products unless it's a gift that a wife can buy for her man. Besides that, it's a no-go. It's a woman-dominated platform. Now, I was just recently on an AMA on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. And someone asked about this. They said, would you recommend that I sell a gift for someone's man? And although I did write this in this thread, my thoughts kind of have changed since then. Unless it is specifically Christmas time, I would not do this. Now, if it is specifically during the holiday season, like it is around Christmas time, sure. But any other time of the year, maybe Valentine's, but maybe. I really only recommend doing this during Christmas time. The rest of it, I recommend selling women's products only, okay? Don't make ads that look unnative to the platform. I'll go over that in the next part, right? So making ads, and again, guys, we're going to go over all this more in depth in just a second, but I just want to reference this thread because I think it's a great thread, okay? As always, we only do image ads, but this has changed, right? A lot of the stuff has changed. We actually primarily do video ads on Pinterest now. So what type of ads you should run? Well, every product niche is different. Why I recommend download the app. But, you know, this is something that still works really well to this day, is top 5 products you need. So basically you create an ad that poses as a friendly page trying to show a consumer what the best solution to their problem is and send people to a collection page. So this works really, really well. But we're going to kind of cut it at that. And now let's kind of get into the good stuff, right? So we have this right here, right? Actually, let's go over here. So this is a Pinterest account. I just have to obviously have it cropped and all that good stuff for privacy reasons. But when you guys come onto this platform, what I recommend doing, assuming obviously you already have your product picked, your creatives made, all that good stuff, right? What I recommend to do is I recommend to come here. Now it is cut up top, you're not able to see it, but when you guys come onto this page, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Before you guys even start the campaign, what I recommend to do is make the pin, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to create, and then you're gonna click create pin. Now, I will pause this and I'll be back in just a second because there is something I have to cover up in the next scene, because that is where you're gonna see the store name. So give me 1 second. All right, so we're back. So this is the area where you create your pin, right? So when you upload videos, this is a big thing that I want to point out, okay? Right here, videos must be .mov files. So a lot of people try and upload MP4 files, and there's this thing that happens with a lot of Pinterest accounts where if you try and upload like an MP4 file, Pinterest will give you this really annoying, hold on, let me put myself back up here. Pinterest will give you a really annoying error message. And it frustrated the hell out of me when I first started Pinterest ads because I never understood what it was. And then once you just swap it to a .mov file, it works. So save yourself the headache, just switch to an MOV file and you're good to go. Making the pin, download the app and get familiar with the layout of what works. Sign up as a woman, as I already said before. You can either do images or videos, but I've seen that videos are working best. You can do short form or long form. I meant to say ad copy, okay, specify this, but I've seen that short form is working best currently. Okay, make sure the headline is short and to the point. You do not want something that's long and dragged out. And right here, we have all that good stuff. So again, let me 1 second, pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, so look, so this would be your headline or your title, right? You could interchange whatever you want to say. So you have your video here, image or video. Videos are working better. Right here, you have your title. You want to make sure it's short and to the point. You can either do it as, you know, something that's really attention grabbing with, you know, the problem that it's solving or the novelty factor. You can do the name of the product. You can do something like free shipping, whatever you want to do. But remember, like I said, you want to really get familiar with the platform and see what's working. Now, this is where your ad copy is going to go. I've done other videos on ad copy before, so I do not need to reinvent the wheel and explain ad copy again. I have the other video. If you guys want to go check it out, go for it. But I have noticed that short form is working the best. Add a destination link, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so now let's actually go in and let's create an ad, or let's create a campaign. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, so let's go into create campaign. Okay, cancel. Okay, so when you guys first do this, okay, you're probably gonna have to do the traffic, right? Similar to how you have to do swipe up on Snapchat, you're gonna have to do it here. Now, a couple of you have noticed that there is a workaround to this, right? And it's the same thing on Pinterest as well as it is on Snapchat, where you can paste a pixel onto your website and falsely fire conversion events to get this unlocked faster. Now, here's what I'll say about this. I've split tested this across quite a few stores, and I've noticed that stores that do that, where they like manually bypass it, for some reason don't seem to perform as well. Now, that is not proven. That is not like a fact, but it's just something that I've noticed. So that's really why I didn't put it in. And I really don't feel like putting it in here. So we're going to leave it at this, okay? And guys, most of the time, I know a couple of you guys, it unlocked quick. Some of you guys, it took longer. It literally just is luck of the account, okay? But normally, we're going to do conversions, right? So here we go. So we'll do conversions. Budget. So let's go over here to campaign setup. So conversions, we'll likely have to do warm up traffic first. Midnight UTC. So Pinterest is interesting because it's in UTC time zone, which is like some random ass time zone. But I still do recommend setting it live at midnight. Like for example, midnight in UTC is like, I think 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. EST and 5 p.m. PST. It's a really weird time zone. But I still recommend setting it live at midnight UTC just to give it a full day's spend. Okay. Budget 50 to 100 bucks. I always do 100. If you are on a budget, you can do 50. If you want to go higher, be my guest. And we're going to get into all of this in just a second. Okay. So budget, we're going to put 100 bucks. I have noticed, we'll kind of get into this when it comes to the scaling video, that there is a very clear threshold on Pinterest, and I'm going to be going over the case study store update video, and I'm going to talk about that in the video, that there is definitely a scaling threshold. So I'm just going to put run continuously, but normally I would, run on specific dates, and then I would change it so that it runs at midnight, but I'm not going to set this one live. Okay. And then obviously you want to go in, we'll just say, or whatever. We'll just leave it. But you just want to put your product name and then launch. Okay. All right. So targeting details, you want to select choose your own. Hold on. Okay. Choose your own. Now, this is where everything comes into play. Now, gender, you want to put all genders, even if it's specifically female, just put all genders. All ages, because it's already 18 plus as a platform, so there's no need to pick. If you're going to sell something that has to do with like alcohol or tobacco or something like that, pick 21 plus. All US locations. Languages, you want to pick English. Okay, if you're selling in English. Now obviously if you are selling in a completely different language, pick your native language. Okay, use the common sense. Now this right here, Pinterest is interesting because you can do a couple things. You can do interests, and you can also do keywords, right? So this keywords, this is like similar to like Google, for example. So I always found this very interesting, that with Pinterest you can also do keywords. Now I will say that with Pinterest, I only have had good success using interests. I have never had good success using keywords on Pinterest. So I'm only going to teach you guys about interest-based testing, okay? Because it makes no sense to try and teach you guys about something that I haven't had success with myself. So keywords, we're not even going to touch on these. Now, later down in the future, if I somehow see that they start to perform well, I'll make an updated video. But in the meantime, we're only going over interest, okay? You want to make sure that enable expanded targeting is off, which as you can see right here, uncheck expand interest. 3 to 5 interests, don't use keywords, okay? I already said US only, English only, okay? So here's what I like to do personally. So minimum 3 up to 5. I like to do 3 to 5. I like to do 1 broad, and then the rest are going to be interest based. Now, a couple of things. If you guys have a really low budget, like if you're only doing 50 bucks, then I recommend only doing 3, right? Because trying to split it between 5 is a little bit harsh. So I'd recommend only doing 3. If you have a bigger budget, you can do more. Or let's just say, for example, your product is super specific and there's only a couple of these that maybe sort of resemble. So in the beginning, the nice thing about these, right, is that they have subcategories. So for example, let's just say the product had something to do with art. Okay, let's just say it did. That's very convenient because there's an art interest right here. Okay, we're going to pick art. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of subcategories of art, and some of them even subcategory more, which subcategory more, right? I don't recommend doing this in the beginning. What I recommend doing is just picking one, or just picking the interest broad like this, art, right? And as you can see, there's a massive audience size, which is great. I don't recommend going and really niching it down too much. I recommend just picking the broad interest, and then later on, once you've identified that something is working, that's when you can go ahead and really start to mess around with all these different things. Okay, so 1 broad, And as you can see right here, you would just, you just duplicate the ad group, switch the interest, all that good stuff. But I recommend doing one broad, the rest are interest, okay? So get past all this, browse and search, leave this all as it is, all devices. Remember, this is gonna be English, all ages, all genders, all that good stuff. Optimization and delivery, you want to change this to checkout because that is basically your purchase conversion event, right? Now, here is where you're going to select pins. I don't recommend creating a pin here. I recommend selecting a pin. And these are the pins, remember earlier, that we already made. Okay? So we had already pre-made the pins, which is what I recommend you do. And then I recommend, I'm not going to click this just because I don't want anything to show for the store, all that good stuff. But you're going to select the pins you want to use and set it live. Okay, it's a pretty self-explanatory. It's a little bit of an interesting platform. There's a couple things here and there that are different, but as a whole, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then lastly, the thing I want to touch on, this is gonna be a pretty short video, which is awesome. I know you guys like it if I can get stuff across really fast and concise. What to look for? Obviously, you want to be profitable, right? That's the number one metric that I always look for. I know a lot of people try and confuse you and they'll try and give you all these crazy guidelines of what to look for. Main thing is, are you profitable? Let's fucking start there first, okay? Are you profitable? Yes, fantastic. Are you not? Okay, let's figure out what's wrong. But things I like to look for, cost per clicks, under 30 cents. Pinterest is a pretty fucking cheap platform. Even 30 cents is pretty high, to be honest, but CPMs, under 10 bucks. And then troubleshoot funnel for other metrics like CTR. So people like to look at like their CTR, to see how their ad is doing, if it's really good. Look at your funnel. Right, so let's say, for example, you're breaking even. I've talked about this on pretty much every video, but if you're breaking even, maybe you're slightly profitable, slightly negative, troubleshoot the funnel. Shopify, great results. Okay, it's your ad, right? Is your cost per click high? Okay, then let's go to your CTR. Let's say your ads oh, sorry guys, I just scratched the mic. I don't know if that was super loud, but let's say your cost per click, your CTR is really good. Okay, well then, is your Shopify metrics suck, right? You guys just need to troubleshoot the process. Real quick, I'm gonna look here at my notes just to make sure I did not forget anything, because you guys know I like to make sure that I can get you guys all the information that you could possibly ever need. But it does look like that was about it. Like I said, Pinterest testing is pretty self-explanatory, and it's kind of cool to see that some of you guys have been getting crazy results. Oh, one thing I do want to point out, I'm glad that I thought of this right now. Similar to some of these other platforms like Snapchat or TikTok, Pinterest can be a little bit of a roller coaster when it comes to profitability. For example, there was a guy in the Discord who said that he had a 12 ROAS day one or day two, whatever it was. It was 12 ROAS, and he was like, "Holy shit, I'm about to like scale to the moon." And then the next 2 days, it wasn't even profitable. So keep this in mind. I've explained this before. It's called the low-hanging fruit theory. And this is a concept where these platforms, their AIs are very smart, right? So they can tell which customers in the auction are going to be easy purchases. And they'll just kind of grab you a bunch of easy purchases. And then once those low-hanging fruit, those easy purchases are dissipated, that's when it kind of goes back to reality, right? So that's just kind of one last thing I want to touch on. But yeah, guys, this has been the Pinterest testing video. Pinterest scaling is coming out next week. That'll be next week's video. And then I'm about to film right now the case study store update video. I am about to film a fun video about women and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to leave it as it is. No word for today because this is a really short video. So I'm assuming most people are going to watch this all the way through. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. All right, real quick, one other thing that I had forgot to mention, so I need to paste this in to the end of the video, is that I forgot to go over this part right here, which is huge organic reach potential, right? So one of the cool things about Pinterest is that you can do kind of like similar to on TikTok, how you can post on a page and then do Spark ads, right? This is kind of the concept where I was talking about, where you want to make the pin ahead of time, and then you select the pin when it comes to advertising time, right? So what's really cool about this is, I'm not going to go into any other window. I'm just going to explain this to you guys. But what's cool about this is you have your Pinterest page and you get followers on your page. And these pins, when you're advertising, all those views and all that comments and likes and all that good stuff, those all add up onto the pins while it's on the page, right? So what ends up happening is that if you spend a lot of money on the pin, on the advertisement, it pushes it organically in the algorithm as well. So that ends up getting you organic sales. Now, I will say that you really do have to get the ball rolling pretty hard to get those organic sales to come in. It's not quite on TikTok. Well, it's nowhere near TikTok's level of organic. However, if you can figure out a way to master it, and as you guys know, I should say, organic is not my forte. I'm a huge paid ads guy because I like getting money fast, right? Like I like to spend money and see it come back. I don't like waiting, right? But the nice thing is it's just free money at that point, right? It's literally free traffic. So this is just one thing that I wanted to add in at the end of the video that I had forgot to, is that it's a really cool part of Pinterest is that you can get a lot of organic sales. Don't bank on that. You know, don't just think, oh my God, I'm just going to do Pinterest organic, I'm going to be a millionaire. Probably not. But it is something that I wanted to put in there. So hopefully you guys like that part as well. Peace.